Good morning, Modern Steaders.
Good morning. A little bit chilly.
Good morning. You guys ready for food? Good morning, Figaro. Moose has been hiding in a different spot in the mornings lately. I don't know exactly where his hiding spot is, but he's been over here. If you guys didn't watch our last video, we brought our pigs to the butcher. Normally we harvest them here in the homestead, but with building up the off-grid property this year, we needed to take them to the butcher so it'd free up our time to be working up there. And hopefully in about a week and a half now, we'll be getting the meat back. There you are, Moose. I was just looking for you, mister. Come here. It's so windy this morning, the boys are hesitant about coming out of their barn. Good morning, Camo. Where'd you go, Camo? It's breakfast time. He's like, yeah, I'm all set. It's windy out. There you go, mister. We need to load the trailer up with our top rails for our solar array. I finally decided on what solar panels we're going with. The original solar panel I couldn't get. Every time I'd get a supposed ship date, I wouldn't hear back. And then I finally heard back recently, and it wasn't until the end of November. I was given an end of October date before, and nothing ever happened. So I was hoping they were gonna ship them in October. Nope, instead they said, oh, we can't ship these until November. So we're going with a different brand. Those are supposed to be shipping out any day now. So we'll talk more about those once they show up on the homestead. I don't want to say what we're getting because you just never know what's going to happen nowadays with everything going on in the world. So supposedly in stock and getting shipped. So that means we're supposed to be getting them. I'm 90% sure. So I know what width we need to place our top rails so we can get these installed onto the solar array. So that way when our solar panels come, we can get them installed and get the whole solar array final tightened up. Everything is tight, but not completely tight. I left everything snugged up, but I didn't snug up every single bolt to the torque specs. I want to wait to do that until we have these top rails on and then the solar panels on. That way if we need any tweaking, we can. I used to work in a body shop, and when you're trying to put a car together, if you put parts and pieces on, you put all the bolts in as you go in and tighten each one up before you have them all in. You usually have to go back and loosen them all up because you got to make tweaks and adjustments, and then you can tighten everything up. So that's why I'm leaving the solar array loose for now. So I am looking forward to getting these on. It'll give us one more visual of how this whole solar array is going to look. need to make sure that all of our top pipes are the right length that we're going to need to set all of our top rails on. So I want to take a couple of quick measurements. We get to play a recta set again today. I'm not sure what these 4 large bolts are for yet. Today we're going to need our 2.5-inch clamps. And then we have a plastic spacer to go between the pipe and the clamp. That way we don't have to worry about the two metals corroding, touching each other. We're using a Sunmoto solar array. Not sponsored, but I know we've had quite a few people asking, so this is a kit you can purchase, and you can get it for a roof, or you can get it for a ground mount like we're using. Alright, this is what we're gonna need today. The best part is we didn't lose any of our rails on the way over. I've never installed one of these before, so I'm just trying to figure out the best, most efficient way of installing all these. The bolts have a little funky head, so you can put them in the rail. When you loosen them, they'll fall out, but when you tighten them, they twist and lock in place. So I'm thinking we might be able to install this on the top post. That's where we want it, maybe? And then let's get this up in place. Gotta figure out where center is. Snug it up right here. Go grab my ladder. I guess I could kind of eyeball it this way and get it close. So we are, say, from the edge 100 inches. I'll call it 100 inches to be easy. So if we go 34-inch overhang down here, we're gonna come 10 more inches. Two. 34 inches right on the money. I like that right there, that's perfect. Alright, I got this bottom on where I want. I have it all squared up. I'm going to go ahead and tighten this up all the way. There we go. I'll have to show you on the clamp itself. It has a nice little tooth that'll grab it, and I think that's also for helping grounding the system. So once we're all said and done, this whole solar array will get grounded out. So I went 33 1/4 and then 37 3/4. Alright. Alright, and then the spacing on the rails is 1,038 millimeters, which translates to 40.86 inches. So I'm going to go with 41 inches center to center on my rails. You got to have 1/4 of an inch plus or minus of what your panel width is, basically plus of what your panel width is, not minus, because the clamp system we're using, you need a little bit of wiggle room. We'll mark 41 inches, and that will give us where our next rail needs to go. Should be 41, and we are. Perfect. This clamp has a little tooth in it right here. It's steel, so when you tighten it up, it grounds it, and that's going to help ground it out. This goes between the aluminum rail and the galvanized post, so that way it'll keep the metals from corroding. Now I need to go 41 center to center. We are 43. So right there is 41. Perfect. They have a pretty slick system. You get the funky head on the bolt, slide it in, and when you twist it to tighten it, it locks in place. And then if you need to, when you go to loosen it up, you can get it out. So it's pretty slick. Bummer.
That's what I thought.
Nope. All right, hold on. One's right there, so that's perfect. Having to move this brace is a perfect reason why I didn't want to tighten everything up yet, because until we have the whole system put together, we are going to have to make changes. So that was a good for instance. Thank you.
Ew.
How the heck does a worm find its way in here?
It's a big worm.
Want to go fishing
Yeah.
with a night crawler? I'm glad it's not 20 below out when we're doing this. That would not be any fun. our hands would be sticking to everything. Let's double check. Make sure we're still 41. Right there. I'll come over here. Money. Remember to mark it this time. like it. So when we go to put the solar panels up, we'll have to start from this side and work our way that way, and then we'll be good. And then afterwards we can go back and cut off our pipes where we want them.
So I'm gonna make some chicken tortilla soup. So I need some enchilada sauce for that, and I do not have any, so I'm going to make that now. I have used the recipe from cookieandkate.com for enchilada sauce a few times, and we've liked it very much. Perfect. Okay, the oil is perfect temperature, so now I'm just gonna add the flour mixture in here, and then stir, stir, stir. It's kind of like making a roux. Basically, that's what I am making. I'm just going to stir this for a minute. I don't put quite as much of the chili powder and stuff, cumin, as the recipe calls for, because, like I said when I made chili the other day, we don't like things really spicy. A little bit of spicy is okay, but really that's all we can handle. We'll have sweat pouring down our heads. We'll need napkins just for the sweat. 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. So I'm just going to squeeze that in. 2 cups of broth. I'm using chicken broth. Just got out of it. Just made that fresh from the Instant Pot earlier. So I'm just gonna keep stirring this until it thickens. The recipe says about 5 to 7 minutes. I'm gonna turn it up a little bit. I'm gonna bring it basically to a boil and then let it thicken there. So now that my enchilada sauce is done, I'm going to go ahead and make my chicken tortilla soup. I got this recipe from themodernproper.com. I'm going to go ahead and put my broth in. The fried roasted tomatoes. Gives it a nice little flavor. And I just have some frozen corn here, sweet corn, and my chicken. And then this recipe makes about 2 cups of enchilada sauce, and so that should be about the amount. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add that to here. So now I'm just going to bring this up to a boil and let it simmer 15-20 minutes. And I'm just going to serve it with some tortilla chips.
Dear Lord, thank you for a wonderful day. Please bless this food to our body. It feels good to have the top rails up on the solar array. That's where the solar panels are going to sit, and then we'll clamp them down to that. I have word that we should be getting the solar panels soon. It's not definite yet because they're not here on the property, but I keep getting dates, and I feel like this one is even better. With everything going on right now, logistics for some stuff is just a little bit slower. So they're en route, or they will be getting shipped here shortly. We should see them in a couple of days. Keep our fingers crossed, but it feels good to be getting closer and closer, and I'm glad we're not doing this project in the middle of winter. Handling metal when it's like below 0 is not any fun, so it feels good to have this done. I'll feel even better once we have the solar panels up. Thanks for coming along on our homesteading journey. You guys are a huge blessing to us in our homestead. If you liked the video, share it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe. And we've been having a lot of people say stuff about wanting to see more of the animals with us right now bebopping between this homestead and the off-grid property. We don't have as much time to film doing all the animal chores, so once we get more settled, I should say, up there, maybe when we're not in such a rush trying to get stuff done before the winter comes, we'll have more time to do that. So stick with us. We'll get there. So thanks for coming along on our homesteading journey. You guys are a huge blessing to us in our homestead, and we'll see you right back here in the next video. Bye.